What's the least amount of gear that you could actually gig with? I was flicking through Instagram, and there's a guy over in the Philippines, Xergio Ramos, who plays with Filipino artists in the Philippines. At like the highest level of touring, there's this chap called Juan Carlos. I don't know if I'm saying that right, Juan Carlos. Culture, I've got none of it. Anyway, and so he did 2 dates armed with just one pedal.
I decided to go using just an amp and one pedal and my guitar.
And whatever the backline amp was. And I thought this was a really interesting idea to see, like, what's the least amount of gear that you could get away with gigging with.
This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses.
Personally, I don't feel like I could get through my function gigs like this, but I spoke to Xergio, and he basically, the way I know Xergio is because he essentially uses Helix, HX Stomp XL, that sort of stuff, so we're kind of connected via the Helix Facebook group and stuff, and we've chatted on Instagram a couple of times. Great player, you know, actually touring at a proper level, not like me playing in bedrooms, like he's actually doing the thing, right? But I asked him, like, what was the idea of this, and he basically, in the Philippines, on the touring circuit, you get provided some backline, and normally it's like a Fender Super Reverb. Some of the high level players, he was saying, like, would just turn up with like a pedal and go for it, and he was basically saying like he didn't want to fall back on the comfort of using just like his normal Helix presets. He wanted to try this for a couple of gigs. I don't know whether this is the sort of thing he's going to do more of. I should probably ask him that, but he said it was a super humbling experience. So the first gig basically rolled up, and it's a JCM 900, and then the second gig was a normal Fender Super Reverb, and he took a J-Rocket Dude pedal for the JCM 900 gig, and then a Wampler Dual Fusion for the second gig, which I think is kind of cheating if you've got a pedal that can do two things, right? Because the Wampler Dual Fusion is a Euphoria and a boost, right? So that's kind of got 2 gain stages. So for this video, I thought, let's try this. So I've got a Fender Pro Reverb here. So just a normal kind of like blackface Fender style amp, not dissimilar to like a twin or a deluxe reverb. I think a super reverb is bang smack in the middle of those 2 things. So that's also 40 watts. So actually quite similar to a super reverb in that the Pro Reverb is also 40 watts. I had that on the vibrato channel so that I've got the reverb from the amp, because no reverb, no fun. And I've got the volume at like 4, treble at just over 4, bass at like 5, and the reverb for the solo at about 4.5. Now you can foot switch the reverbs on these amps, so that'd be a thing. And also there's a foot switchable vibrato, so that might be even more of a thing. And then an Ibanez SD9 for the leads. Now this is a pedal that will be familiar to some of you folks who are like into Wayne Krantz, Scott Henderson, Michael Landau. Michael Landau, actually, this has been a pedal that I think he uses pretty extensively, and also a pedal that works very nicely with the volume knob. So that was why this was kind of my selection for that, because it kind of cleans up really well, and also has like tremendous levels of gain if you need that sort of thing, which obviously for me, that will work quite nicely. What I think would be missing from my personal kind of gigs is that I need a clean tone, right? So the Fender covers that. I've got a lead tone here, this covers that, but I feel like I would need a rhythm tone, and I don't know if just backing off the volume knob would get me there, but I guess we can see. And also ideally I'd like a delay as well, but obviously in this scenario I can't. So that's my clean. Obviously a Fender amp on 4 is kind of like pretty loud, but kind of a beautiful thing. And then for my lead, let's see, what have I got here? Kick on my SD9. And then I guess for my rhythms, I'd kick off the reverb and maybe back this down to like... So something like 6 for rhythm. Might need to make some adjustments tone-wise. And then for my lead, if I go up to like 8 as my standard. be a real challenge, I think, for me personally. There's certain songs like Shut Up and Dance, which in the function scene, I guess you're going to think, right, I probably need that, although you could kind of get away with it. I feel like that dual fusion that Xergio used on the second night, I think that might be a good shout. Like a pedal which has 2 gain stages that you can either have one on, the other on, or stack them. That actually might be a pretty comfortable way to do this. I feel like you need kind of like a rhythm tone, a clean tone, and a lead tone. With a Fender amp and a dual gain stage pedal, I think you can just about get away with it. Maybe, depending on the sort of gig. But if Xergio can do this on like a chart gig, like this guy had a #1 in the Philippines recently, you know, something worth thinking about maybe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever done this? I guess it's not too dissimilar to sort of plugging into a cranked amp and kind of doing your volume tone stuff, volume knob stuff with that. But yeah, I think a really brave idea and interesting. Go check out Xergio's playing and check out the reel that he posted on Instagram to get kind of a sense of this. I think it's a really cool idea to try it. I think, yeah,